Let's take you back to Vredendal now, where President Cyril Ramaphosa is set to deliver the Reconciliation Day keynote address at a sports stadium in Vredendal in the Western Cape, where the event will then feature cultural activities and performances by local artists. And for more on the day's proceedings, our reporter Vanessa Poonah is on the ground and joins us now for an update. Vanessa, good morning to you once again. So let's talk about some of the key themes that are expected to feature prominently in the President's official keynote address, particularly in light of the ongoing social as well as economic challenges.
Yes, good day to you again. And of course, we do expect that when we look at the theme, healing from the past and also looking towards forging new futures, we do expect the President to speak about the journey that we've taken as South Africans, coming from a deep, dark place of apartheid, also colonialism, to where we find ourselves today, celebrating 30 years of democracy, but also celebrating and commemorating Reconciliation Day. I know my colleague Bulelani Philip earlier spoke at length about issues around social cohesion. He was speaking to a guest about issues of racism that still now and then raises its ugly head in South Africa, and also how we as a country, how we as communities, how we as government can come together to address these issues so that we finally achieve, Alicia, that social cohesion that we as a country are yearning for. Each and every citizen on the ground yearning for that social cohesion. Also, it's a day to celebrate the various cultures, religions, people from all walks of life. And of course, here at the moment we have representatives from all over, not just the Western Cape, representing various communities. I'm joined now by Chief Roderick Williams. He's from the Griqua National Conference, talking to us about their role here today. And also, I believe, Chief, you've had a 120-year celebration recently. Talk to us a bit about the Griqua people and the celebrations that you've had, obviously just before this Day of Reconciliation commemoration here at Vredendal.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, South Africa. Yes, Griqua people are indeed proud to could reach that milestone of 120 years as part of the now South African Rainbow Nation. We are proud that we could survive the colonialism, apartheid. We are proud that we see ourselves as part of the last bastion of the Khoi of South Africa.
And of course, when we talk about Reconciliation Day, we look back at what we've achieved over the past 30 years, even before that. And of course, we look towards the future. Now, talking to the theme of this year's commemoration event, we're talking about forging new futures. What does that new future look like to yourself?
The new future is of utmost importance for the Khoi and the San, and I would like to acknowledge all Griqua people around South Africa, their leadership, the Kurana, the Nama, the Cape Khoi, and of course the San. And we see ourselves as sons and daughters of the soil, but we are definitely part of this rainbow nation that was forged through leadership that brought us 30 years ago together, and now moving forward under one banner of South Africa.
So when we talk about the San and Khoi people, and I suppose you'll also be listening quite carefully to what President Cyril Ramaphosa will say when he addresses this event in a short while once he arrives, what would you like to hear going forward? I mean, the strides that you talk that have been made in terms of the San and Khoi people. Going forward, what areas of challenges and opportunities do you think still exist for us as a country to foster the way forward?
I would really like to see that an unequal situation that still may exist and people are experiencing are being addressed in totality, and people don't feel that they are left behind. There should definitely be inclusion and transparency on all spheres of government, and everybody should pull together to make sure that the San and the Khoi remain part of the South African Rainbow Nation and can stand in their rightful places to make a difference in this country of their origin.
South Africa's constitution has been lauded globally. It's a constitution that takes every single person living in this country into account. It speaks about the human rights in every single individual, every single citizen of this country. And you say that this is what you're experiencing on the ground. And of course, the challenges that may exist are not insurmountable. They can be addressed.
the challenges can be indeed addressed. Like I said, and I want to confirm that we embrace the Constitution of South Africa. We embrace it to an extent that we know it can add value to our plight, and it is not an insurmountable challenge that we deal with. But moving forward, people need to ensure that we indeed are kept on that journey so that we can be in our rightful places as Griqua, Khoi and San under the South African banner.
Are we talking about land? When you're talking about the challenges, what are we speaking about?
Yeah, I don't want to address the land issue here. The first part for me is the fact that we need to resolve our constitutional accommodation to an extent that we have voices in the statutory voices within all spheres of government, where leadership will then speak to all the other challenges. But first, we need to be on that platforms so that leadership can speak on behalf of the people that they represent.
Chief, thank you so much. Of course, the Chief Roderick Williams, he's from the Griqua National Conference, just giving us an update with regards to the celebrations they've had recently, celebrating that 120 years, and also then talking about the importance of Reconciliation Day to the San and Khoi people of South Africa, and what they'd like to see the rest of, or the future of this country look like, of course, reflecting back to the past period of colonialism, past period of apartheid, and of course saying that all platforms must be available to each citizen, to each grouping, for our democracy to work to its capacity, and also for reconciliation to reach its full capacity.
And Vanessa, speaking of those reflections, I mean, as it stands, we understand there's currently tensions between farmers and farm workers in that area. So hopefully today's engagements will go a long way in fostering and mending those ruptured relations, nicely tying in also to the specific theme for the day.
Alicia, a lot has been said about tensions between farmers and farm workers. I do gauge from the interviews that we've had with people that it may just be a generalization. Yes, we have seen a number of incidents regarding whether it is discrimination or whether it is incidents of farm workers unhappy with certain conditions on farms, etc. But we've spoken to various sectors of society, and they were saying that we have come a long way in terms of race relations, but also relationships between workers as well as those who are employers. And yes, South Africa, as we know, has incidents very often where we hear of incidents of racism, incidents of discrimination. But then, just quoting or listening to what the Minister of Arts, Sports and Culture said just now, Gayton McKenzie, is that we as South Africa, we hold the lamppost to other countries across the world. We've come from a deep, dark place of division. And yes, it's not yet complete, Alicia, but of course, the sense I get from the ground, speaking to people in Vredendal, be it from Agri-Western Cape, the body representing farmers in the region, be it from community leaders who've spoken to here in Vredendal North, they were talking about the progress that has been made. A gentleman, Patrick Creel, I spoke to yesterday, was telling me that when he remembers his youth to where we are today as a country in South Africa, he says he's not stopped, for example, to go into any premises. He has a freedom of movement, freedom of choice, freedom of voting. So a lot has been done, not there yet, Alicia, but certainly a good conversation to have as we commemorate Reconciliation Day.
Absolutely. Vanessa Poonah, SABC News reporter there in Vredendal for us. And the president is expected to deliver his keynote address for today's official Reconciliation Day proceedings.